they had been out to the asteroid belt and found entire asteroids that were made of precious metals that they had already been mining some. Dollar signs popped in their eyes, in the eyes of these U.S. Capitalists. So they fully got behind this German grand plan to build out a giant infrastructure into outer space.
How soon after they got to Mars and they got successful, stable encampments did they start building facilities on asteroids or other moons?
Almost immediately.
Really?
Yeah, the Germans had already started mining certain asteroids, and this is one of the reasons the ICC wanted to go out there. They heard there were asteroids out there that had platinum and gold.
Huh.
And the talk down here on Earth about there being a discrepancy in gold being rare, silver being rare, that is a total manipulation. I mean, just on Earth, the syndicates have hidden a bunch of gold.
Right.
There's gold, tons of gold. And the gold that they're finding in these asteroid belts, atomically, you look at Earth gold and this gold, they are the same. They don't have a different atomic structures. It's gold.
Wow.
So there is plenty of gold in the solar system, and so many tons of gold and platinum and silver and other elements in the asteroid belt.
Could you actually find entire asteroids that are just like a piece of gold or a piece of silver?
Well, I wouldn't say that they're entirely a big nugget of gold, but are very much gold.
Did the ICC or the Germans develop advanced computer technology faster than we did on Earth that they could start to use in all this robotic mining and things?
Yes, they've had computer systems and quantum computers much, much longer than way before Bill Gates and IBM started to put out motherboards and integrated chips. The ICC always kept the most advanced toys.
What is it about the Dark Fleet that earns the name Dark?
A number of reasons. In Black Ops, when there's a dark program, it is completely compartmentalized to where no one receives any intelligence. The other secret space programs received very little information about the Dark Fleet's mandate,
Really?
what they were doing, what they were up to. Their bases were completely autonomous. Other secret space programs did not get to go to their bases. Their craft were of a different design, usually. They had several different types of vessels that you would see that you would associate with them.
Well, could you describe some of what made these vessels different? What were their characteristics?
Yeah, and one of them is a very large wedge-shaped that is very much like Star Wars, the destroyers, I guess, very much like those. They're a little bit more sleek.
What about the little thing on top? Is that there?
Similar,
Really?
but not as high, but
Okay.
yeah, similar. There's also a very large diamond-shaped vessel that they have. They have a very large pumpkin seed-shaped vessel.
When you say very large now, what are we talking?
Over 600 feet across.
Okay.
But those are smaller than the large wedge-shaped
Right.
vessels. And all we've really known about them is that they fight, they're an offensive force. They are for going and doing offensive type of work alongside the Draco. They go outside the solar system on, I guess, conquest or defending Draco territory, helping the Draco on military expeditions. The ICC has helped them build out a lot of this and these vessels and weaponry, and then the Draco group has helped them enhance it even more so for offensive duties outside of the solar system. And they spend almost all of their time completely outside the solar system. And we hadn't received, we knew of, there's one of their bases on the moon that is quite a ways from the Lunar Operation Command, that is a kind of shaped like a pyramid with the top chopped off.
Yeah, and you have an illustration of that we can bring up.
That's not my illustration. She needs full credit for this image. She had been abducted and taken to this facility. I was very surprised when people wrote me and someone else had described this same facility.
And it looked exactly like what you saw.
It looked almost exactly, pretty close. But it's a very good representation. And it's been almost impossible to get good intelligence about what's going on there. The Dark Fleet is completely human-ran. They do answer to and work alongside the Draco Alliance. They're allies, and they go out and they do offensive battles and offensive expeditions together outside the solar system.
What are they going for? What is the offense about? What is the goal or the objective?
We assume that it's conquest or keeping certain areas secure or reined in their empire, but we really don't know. It's been very difficult to get information and intelligence about the Dark Fleet. And there's been a few defectors from the Dark Fleet that were stuck inside of the outer barrier that was erected. Most of the Dark Fleet was stuck outside. So, and whatever information has been gleaned from those defectors, I have not heard. So, they have been a very large mystery.
Why would anybody want to cooperate? Why would any humans from here want to cooperate with these reptilians that are basically like biblical demons or devils?
Well, one person's demon and devil is another person's God.
Sure. So we don't really know exactly what they're doing out there. But you said that when this outer barrier went up, a lot of them got locked out of our solar system.
Yes.
But it appears that a significant portion of their command structure, their elite, were actually in our solar system when the barrier went up?
Yes. Yeah. Command control and communications were still here. And a lot of their operational forces were outside doing what they do when this outer barrier was raised. So they became stuck outside of this field around our entire solar system that is way, way out past out where the heliosphere is, out past the Oort cloud. It's huge. And they can't come back. So the structure that was here has somewhat been cannibalized into the ICC and defected to the Alliance.
If you saw somebody from the Dark Fleet, what are they going to be dressed in? What do they look like?
They were very distinctive. A lot of the times they usually, it's almost out of Star Wars again. They looked very stern, very arrogant, like they felt very elite. They wore black stormtrooper kind of clothes, just very stern-like, very totalitarian acting, and a lot of the people that ended up going into this program came from a lot of the German secret society, Nazi kind of programs. They a lot of them and their ancestors are people that were born later on after these breakaway civilizations occurred, have joined.
So do these Dark Fleet personnel actually, do they have homes here on Earth? Do they go out to work? Do they drive into a local military base and portal out?
I would assume that they are 100% vested off-world.
The way you're describing it sounds very military. I'm wondering, is it all men or are there women in the Dark Fleet too?
I'm sure there are women, but I personally only saw men. Yes, they're very regimental, very totalitarian, very... the energy you feel from them is very unnerving. They don't feel like pleasant people at all.
Are there different races of normal humans that we'd see on Earth in the Dark Fleet?
Yeah, it's not a
really
Caucasian purity
okay.
kind of.
You mentioned that the Draco have different reptilian types, and you said there's insectoids as well. Do they commingle with these humans in the Dark Fleet, or is the Dark Fleet simply a human fleet that is a support crew for the Draco Alliance?
They are there. It's a completely human fleet that flies in support of and alongside the Draco fleet.
So you're not going to see extraterrestrials on these ships?
I don't think so. I've heard people talk about advisors, maybe one or, some advisors being on board, but this is like second, third-hand information that I've heard people talking about. There's a lot of mystery about, that has been so compartmentalized about the Dark Fleet. That is one of the biggest secrets still remaining, even within those in the Secret Space Program Alliance, unless there's information they haven't shared with me recently that they have found out. The Dark Fleet had a lot of secrets. And then we have this global Galactic League of Nations group that was somewhat of a carrot that was offered to all the other nations to have them maintain this veil of secrecy about what was going on in outer space by giving them a space program and giving them a narrative of there's certain threats or possible invasions. We need to come together and work together. And at the one facility that I visited a couple times, it looked very much like the TV show Stargate Atlantis, where you had a real laid-back environment, people walking around in jumpsuits with patches from all different countries of the world. They are almost completely outside of the solar system as well. This program was a fairly recent one. It didn't start back in the 50s and 60s.
Oh.
Back then is when they started to find out what was going on.
Okay.
I believe this was something that started probably
Right,
at least in the 80s, maybe even.
What do you make out of that? What do you make out of that load of baloney? Secrets.
Where does the
base
Alliance come into
alliances
play
and
now that
stuff
we're
like
talking
that?
about Solar Warden? You said
It's just
Solar Warden got started in the late 70s and they got
absolutely
a lot of the
bonkers.
Star Wars technology.
Mm-hmm.
How does this relate to the Alliance? Exactly.
Okay.
How
Well,
do they expect us to swallow that load of garbage? What about Dracos, which are alien beings, that are reptilians? And you've got this dark fleet made up purely of people from Earth, flying around in space in these big dart-shaped spaceships. They live up there. Bases on the moon, bases on Jupiter, bases on Venus. And we're supposed to believe that the human beings, i.e. the Dark Fleet, are working alongside these aliens and these reptilian aliens Do they really expect us to swallow that load of rubbish? It's beyond a joke. Do they really think we're that gullible? I can't believe it. And we're supposed to have this big shield blocking our solar system off from other solar systems. You know, we have this massive great shield surrounding our solar system, keeping all these nasty aliens away. And these Dracos are supposed to have half of their fleet stuck the other side, this barrier that shields our solar system, while the other part of the Draco fleet is inside the shield. I think this guy needs to go to the loony bin. The guy I'm on about. Him. He needs to go to the friggin' loony bin. What a load of rubbish. Can't believe it. Can't believe they think we're that gullible. Then he's on about a possible alien invasion. Why would there be an alien invasion if we're supposed to be up there working alongside the ETs and the reptilian aliens, and we're supposed to be up there working alongside with our fleet, it's called the Dark Fleet, and they're supposed to be going to invade us, according to Obama and Russia. It's supposed to be an alien invasion sometime this year. But we've been up there, according to this guy, working alongside them. So why would they all of a sudden want to invade us if we've been up there working alongside them? Like this lunatic seems to think we are. It's beyond a freaking world, man. Geezer needs a fucking, well, I need sectioning.